In a single summer of constant fighting, the Jacks had dispensed with camaraderie and turned instead to discipline. Some resented it.
"I never wanted to be a goddamn forester," said another voice.
This was directed at the grim reality that royal foresters, the king's law in the woods, were the traditional enemies of the Jacks, broken men and outlaws, and now they marched together. The last Jack only 2 paces in front of the first forester. Not one forester or Jack was so dense as to miss the grim irony that in the eyes of the world's powers, they were exactly the same, superb woodsmen and rangers. Sir Gavin, the army's nominal commander, had put the 2 bands together with some hundreds of Urk knights mounted on forest elk and Urk ponies, an armoured cavalry that could glide through heavy woods with the agility of wild deer. Together, they were a match for almost any forest foe.
"Keep your bowstrings dry,"
Redmead repeated as he trotted down the column. Not everyone was surly. Stern Rachel gave him half a grin, but she was mad as a felter and loved war. Garth No-Toes hummed to himself as he flourished a little beeswaxed bag. Most of these men and women had survived the rout after Lisson Carrick, had fought at Gilson's Hole, had marched west again to face Ash and his million monsters. They knew how to survive a little rain. He told them anyway. Tired people make mistakes. He forced himself up the rise he just descended, looking for the blank exhaustion that was like a sickness, looking for signs of people who hadn't drunk enough water. His thighs burned, but it was these displays of routine prowess that marked him out, and he knew it. He reached the top just as Long Peter and Gwillem Stair came over the crest, glanced back into the hell of Ash's army, and shook their heads.
"We fightin' again?"
Stair asked. Redmead shrugged.
"Only have 9 shafts,"
Stair said. Long Peter didn't speak much at the best of times. He kept walking.
"I hear you,"
Redmead said.
"Meaning we might fight?"
Stair asked.
"Meaning I don't know a goddamn thing,"
Redmead said. He could see his brother trudging up the hill. The same irony that made the 2 bodies of men and their decades of enmity irrelevant in the current crisis was sharpened by the 2 Redmead brothers. Bill, the leader of a rebellion against royal authority, and Harold, his older brother, who had risen to command the foresters. That maturity had brought each to a better understanding of the other's position, might have been the reason that the 2 bodies could cooperate at all.
"Harold,"
Bill said.
"Bill?"
Harold nodded. Both Redmeads were tall and ruddy-haired and rough-hued. Where Bill wore the stained, loose off-white wool coat of the Jacks, his brother wore a sharply tailored jupon in the forester's forest green, although he carried his hat in one hand like a beggar. He stopped at the crest, and his weary men shuffled past. Bill was starting to know their names, and John Hand, tall and strong as an old oak, sporting a knightly beard and moustache, was Harold Redmead's best officer. He grunted a greeting and kept going, glancing back at the rising tide of boglins behind them, as almost every man and woman did on reaching the crest.
"I heard a rumour we won a big fight in Etrusca," Harold said. "Heard it this morning from Sir Gregario."
"I heard that there's 1,000 dead of the plague in Harndon," Bill said.
"Aye, or 3 times that."
Harold Redmead leaned on his bow staff. The first drops of rain fell from the golden sky.
"We winning or losing?"
Bill asked his brother.
"Losing,"
Harold said. He held his hat full of berries out to his brother, who took a handful and ate them, seeds and all. Black raspberries, fresh picked. Bill nodded.
"Well, that makes me feel better,"
he said. Both of them looked down the ridge they'd just abandoned without a fight to the enemy, who were already crowding the ground below them. A flood